sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We shed a million tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubbies, Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Lucho Scali.
Son Ranto.
Michael.
Son Ranto.
Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Lucho Scali. Ranto.
Well, that wasn't very enlivening.
That's about as excited as I'm to see Eric Hosmer in the lineup again.
This team blows again.
I know. What happened? Welcome to the Son Ranto Show. My name's Danny Rocket. I'm one of your hosts. I'm here with Infield Fly Girl. I've got Michael Cotton, otherwise known as the Blake Beard, on Twitter, and his fabulous tickets, and also Sarah Sanchez from the Cup of Cubby Blue podcast, my partner over there, and also the writer at Bleed Cubby Blue. Thanks all for being here, and thank you to our 114 Patreon supporters who support the podcast. We're down one, everybody, and I'm pretty sure it's something Michael said. Just spitball it here, but one DH rant too many for you, my friend.
It was too good to be true. We had April. We'll always have April.
So tonight we are going to talk about how April is now over, and we have an exciting new addition to the team. Matt Mervis is coming in. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to start with that because it is positive news, much better than talking about a 1-6 road trip. We're also going to talk about this week's series versus the Marlins, where we got swept, and the Nationals, where we almost got swept. And we're going to do that with our friend Johnny Onomatopoeia, Nationals friend, old friend of mine, great drummer, and incredible, hilarious piano player. I don't know, he's awesome. He'll be here if you don't know who he is. And we're also going to do an NL Central roundup with our Reds and Brewers comedian friends, Billy DeVore and Eric Wheelo. So it is star-studded tonight. Thanks for being with us. And hashtag chance in the chat. You could win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. And so let's get started. Matt Mervis is coming to town. He isn't Eric Hosmer. He isn't Trey Mancini.
He knows how to hit baseballs.
You had me at he isn't Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, so how's everybody feeling? Like I know there's been a lot of consternation about how this should go down. Even last night, I don't usually like to bring Barfstool onto this show, but there was a little fight, not a fight, but a discussion between Dom and also Carl from Barfstool and me. And Carl was like, I'm sick of this narrative about Mervis. Mervis had a 60-game stretch to start his career before the league adjusts, then another 60 games to make an adjustment, 60 more for the league. It takes time, and we're already crowning him a difference maker. Fuck no, it's May, whatever. Like, don't bring him up. Let him sit down there and bide your time with Hosmer. But none of us felt that way. I know you guys
understand that logic. Like, I can't even follow it. Like, you have young, exciting players who are clearly too good to be in AAA. We have old, useless people who are grounding into double plays or worse. And, like,
well, also,
which would you rather be watching?
Hosmer, you got the Toot Blands. You got that. Remember when he got picked off second, and like that sacrifice fly double play. I'm not impressed by the Gold Glove, quote unquote, in the fields that much.
Didn't he also bunt in the 9th inning?
Yes.
He's out there bunting in the 9th. I mean, that's a lot of that. Maybe you go to Ross, but like all I'm saying is I've been unimpressed with Eric Hosmer. The metrics bear it out. He's actually been lucky And I just don't. And
It's
now,
amazing that his average is the lucky version of what we've gotten.
I am just going to say that, like, if you go look on Fangraphs at the team leaderboards by position, and we're just going to do first base, not designated hitter here, because that gets a lot noisier. The Cubs are 25th
And it doesn't
in the
exist.
amount of wins above replacement that they have gotten from first base so far. The only teams that have gotten fewer wins above replacement so far in 2023 are the Tigers, the Red Sox, who are struggling with Tristan Casas right now, the Astros, who Jose Abreu is off to the worst start of his career, the Reds,
we got
the
lucked out of that one.
Guardians. That's it. And so it's not even so much like, oh, do you want to give Eric Hosmer a shot? Or what do you think about Trey Mancini? Or blah, blah. It's that the Cubs have a first base DH candidate mashing in AAA, and they have chosen deliberately to run out a beyond suboptimal first base situation. So I'm just glad to see that Jed Hoyer finally woke up and was like, hey, perhaps losing 6 of 7 to 2 god-awful teams from the NL East is a reason that we should play our best players, now do Madrigal for morale.
Thank you.
Well, and let me throw up Mervis's number just to see what we're getting tomorrow. And he's absolutely going to do exactly at the major league level what he did at Iowa. No doubt in my mind. He's got a 962 OPS on the season, 6 home runs in 112 plate appearances. He's slashing 286, 402, 560. That 402 is a huge result of basically a near 20% walk rate. It's not quite there, but it's high. And he's actually only struck out one more time than he's walked. So for a power hitter who hit how many home runs last year? 36. That's pretty good to not be selling out and striking out. So I'm super excited. I hope they play him tomorrow, but it seems like Grandpa Lossie doesn't like to do that. He seems to bring him to town, sit him on the bench, so it's a little bit, but either way, I don't think that Hosmer is going to get DFA'd. I don't think this is the moment. Everybody's like, oh, bye Hosmer. And I don't believe that to be the case. Do you? Who are they going to get rid of?
They're going to send
Assad,
Rios
probably.
to AAA because Edwin Rios still has options. And there's an empty 40-man spot because when they DFA'd Ryan Baruchi, they did that to remove him from the 40-man and the 26-man. But they called up Miguel Amaya, who was already on the 40-man. So there's an empty 40-man spot right now. There's no reason to not just do a straight swap, send Rios to Iowa, and call up Mervis. If they do anything else, they're getting way too fancy, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess they got to put
Assad.
him on the
The only
40.
person I thought was because Assad pitched 5 innings today of really great baseball. He looked like the Javier Assad I thought we were going to have. And
Finally, the one that I thought should have broke with the team, and I was sorely mistaken.
Well, even out of the pen, maybe he had to figure something out. Maybe he had to warm up. Maybe he had to come back down to earth after pitching in the WBC. Like that could be because he was really impressive last year. And I'll put up Assad's numbers real quick because this is the guy who I bet you they will send down because he did 5 innings today. And then you can have him go down there and start and just hope nothing happens to your pitchers.
Well, and aren't they expecting to get Tyone back?
Tyone pitched today.
Oh, sorry. I missed
and
that
Assad.
part of the game.
Yeah, Tyone pitched the first 3
I
innings.
missed the whole game, actually.
You came in at the end when they lost. I saw that. That was
I literally, the only thing I got to hear on the radio was the single pitch in the 9th inning to the Nationals.
Yeah,
That's the worst part.
Exactly. You tuned in just at the end and just wait, because I saw
You missed the little mini rally they did at the end too.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it all with Johnny Onomatopoeia, who could lord it over us in his gloaty national way. I think he was as shocked as much as the rest of us. But I think Assad could be, like you said, Sarah, like maybe they do get a little fancy with it and goodbye Assad.
They might, but I don't know why you would do that given what Assad just did and you need long men out of the pen and everything. Like, I think that it's the easiest thing is there's 39 men on the 40-man roster right now. You send Rios to AAA, you call it Mervis, you call it good. You don't have to lose any of your MLB depth or whatever Carter Hawkins was bloviating about. in his interview, which, by the way, did we all read this Patrick Mooney piece and get as frustrated as I did with the consultant ease coming out of Carter Hawkins' mouth? Because, like, I'm honestly, he might be better at consultant jargon than Hoyer, which I thought was impossible.
Yeah, well, they all are. I mean, I think they're trained at this, but no, it's the thing about the depth and not wanting to give up on organizational depth. That, it's like, this isn't take me out to the depth game. It's taking me out to the ball game. And a lot of people, we've been clamoring since before spring training was over to break with the best guys that we thought could have been. Like Morrell was one of them.
Yeah.
Velasquez, we weren't even saying, we're like, maybe Velasquez. But then when Saya got hurt, we're like, oh, probably Velasquez. And then, no, we're not using him. And then, and then everybody was a head scratcher from Torrens, who just got traded for cash to the Orioles somehow. Cash consideration. So he'll be coming back.
Right. Which means that they're just considering giving cash, but they might not.
To be clear, Morrell is still one of those dudes. He has a WRC plus of 214 in AAA right now.
Yeah,
He's figured it out,
but
people.
I mean,
He's
that's
figured it
only
out.
114 better.
Well, I'll put his numbers up here. He's got a 1.281 OPS. He's hit 11 home runs. That's as many as Patrick Wisdom has at the major league level, and 113 plate appearances. He's absolutely killing the ball. He's got 9 doubles out of his 34 hits as well. Plus, he's walked 16 times now. The strikeouts are still a little high, but he has 11 home runs. Let me show you Patrick Wisdom strikeouts and tell me which have been better. So yeah, he's another one I'd like to see up. And then Amaya, we got to talk a little bit about him because the kid made his debut. He didn't get any hits, but a lot of great at bats. He was
scorching the ball. He hit 3 baseballs. They were all over 100 miles per hour.
And he was taking pitches too. Like his first count, he didn't swing for the first 5 pitches.
Good boy.
Yeah.
I thought Amaya looked great. I was like, I'm here for this.
I haven't had a
This is
chance to watch
outstanding.
yet. And
I'll put up his numbers just because we haven't really talked about what he had been doing. It's injury-plagued career, but last year, between Tennessee and the rookie league, he had an 824 OPS and 6 home runs in 160 plate appearances. So it just did not get the at-bats. But I know we've been saying this forever. It's just like, I get that you can get better by practicing. I understand that. And I understand that facing a slider from a major league pitcher or an off-speed pitch from a major league pitcher is going to be really hard to adjust to because there's just the talent levels through the roof. But wouldn't you rather kind of see some of these guys adjusting at the major league level? And, maybe not Amaya, maybe you can send him back down just because it really has not been much. But yeah,
when it boils down to it, you need good pitchers to make good hitters. That's the only way hitters get better is by facing good pitches.
I mean, and you figure that they're like, aren't they hiring a guy to like go and pitch to these dudes? Like, wouldn't you think that you would let them see some really kick-ass sliders in AAA?
I mean, if you have that good of a slider, though, you are throwing in the major leagues. I will just say on the Miguel Amaya front, and I pulled these numbers back up from a tweet I sent earlier just because I knew I had it handy. He grounded out at 100.2 miles per hour. He had a line out in the 6th at 104.3 miles per hour. And then that sac fly that he hit in the 8th, that honest to God looked like it was going to go out. I thought his first hit in the majors was going to be a home run, was 102.1 miles per hour. All 3 of those balls are absolutely scorched. And admittedly, it's the Nationals. They're not great. Like, I get it. And you can't ask for much more from a kid who got called up from Double-A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And without all those at bats that, it's just not a lot of, experience really. And it's just like, cause it was injury after injury is like some weird bone I never heard of. There was what I forget.
Lisp fracture.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Do we all have one of those? And then, there was the head of Tommy John, right? On something.
From sliding.
And then an ankle, I think, or
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
Oh, is that the same thing as the Liz brain or whatever?
I
think
don't
that's
know
in
what
the
it is.
foot. That's like a foot fracture. I don't
maybe that's what it
know
was.
exactly what it is, but it's like a foot thing.
This just in from Michael Cotton, by the way. If you're watching live, you'll know that he has disappeared. His entire neighborhood's internet is down right now. So
Cool.
yeah, so we may or may not get him back tonight. Well, but either way, good thing we have 700 other people coming on the show tonight. So, but hopefully we do get him back. One thing I did was I went for, I know, Sarah, you play Beat the Streak. I don't know. Do you play that IFG? Beat the Streak?
I don't know what that is.
Sarah, maybe you can explain because I just started playing and you've been at it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I just started today or like earlier, like last week when Crawley introduced me to it, and it's awesome. So basically, you pick one MLB player each day who you think is going to get a hit, and if you can beat Joe DiMaggio's streak and get to 56 or 57 or whatever it is, then you win $5.6 million. But nobody has ever done this. Like nobody has ever picked that many hitters in a row who actually all got a hit. And you don't lose your streak if you don't play. So like I forgot to play today and I'm not going to lose my streak. My streak is still at 6. But you can like double down on your streak. And if you miss one of them, you lose. So I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, Beat the Streak is great. And I've just been playing with guys, I don't know, like Nico Horner against a bad pitcher is like, it's a really easy, like, beat the streak play for me. Alex Verdugo has been a great beat the streak play for me. Luis Ariz. Dudes who hit.
Especially against the Cubs. Blake Beard back in the hizzy. Michael Cotton back. Well, I played Amaya today, unfortunately, and even though he hit the ball hard enough to get a hit, he was a 69% chance to get a hit. And
Nice.
so I had to go with Miguel Amaya. He did not. My streak is over. I start again. And I see
David Elliott has what the Liz Frank thing is, and thank you, David Elliott, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, two things from the chat here. David Elliott, the Liz Frank joint is at the point at which your toes meet your foot. It is a very painful injury. And then Dominic Galoro says, my best streak is 12 games. So that's not, so I guess it's pretty hard. No, nobody's done it after so many years of them doing it. Do you play Beat the Streak, Michael?
I don't. I kind of like. I hear people talk about it, and I always think to myself, I should, and then I can't keep up with it every day. That's my problem. I think
you don't
but
have
you don't
to
lose your streak.
You don't lose your streak if you can just
I
start.
think I like the idea of this because, like, I don't like playing fantasy baseball because it's just numbers I have to be mad at. But this is more, picking a thing to happen.
Yeah,
I like
just one thing. It's like waking up and playing Wordle on the toilet. It's just like, who do I got? It's like no problem. So, cool. I wanted to do, well, let's just kind of move on from this segment and talk about some of the new guys by saying we're all really excited that they're making moves, right? Like it's
so glad
because we were about to take the pitchforks and the torches and go down there and get a little bit like fanish on them. I think
I was telling Danny earlier today that this team is like a bad soup. Like all of the individual ingredients, people keep telling me how good all of our players are. And if you look at them on paper, like this guy is doing really well and that guy is doing really well. And we got a big side of beef over here and we got some lean protein and we got some good vegetables and all this stuff. And then we just got like a way too much Hosmer salt in it.
Exactly.
And if Dave Ross is going to sit around being a potato, he should at least do something useful and take him out.
Exactly. Take out the salt, Mr. Potato Head.
Now I understand. Like I was at my kid's concert last night and my phone's just blowing up and I look and the first thing I see in the preview is IFG saying Hosmer is a huge fucking handful of salt, and I had no idea what the context of anything was. I'm just sitting
In
there
the
going,
stew.
what the hell?
Well, and it's true what you say too. It's like Michael Cerami, who's relatively one of the more positive Cub fans, although he can be critical, of course. He was tweeting out a whole bunch of really positive things, and I'll just put these up real quick. Is like the Cubs bullpen, second overall in K rate, first in NL leaving hitters with a 205 average, 390 ERA. It's a little higher now, by the way. Fifth in NL. It's really not that bad. A 87.7 mile exit velocity against, 33% hard contact rate. That's second in the NL. 17 holds, and only 11 teams have fewer blown saves. So it's like these are all positive signs, but you're like, but we're 500. And everybody kept telling Cerami that. He also said this about like the Cubs offense. 117 WRC plus, number one, 276 average, number one, 346 OBP, number one, slugging 451 first, 26 stolen bases third, the rotation 331 second, 87 mile exit velocity against, first overall, 5.4 barrel percent, first overall, 33.2% hard rate, second overall. I mean, these are all great numbers, but there's salt in the stew.
Well, the problem is that, and I want to amend slightly, like one tiny bit of the soup analogy, because I agree that Eric Hosmer is a bunch of salt, but it's not just Hosmer. The Cubs 1 through 5 plus Wisdom is like legit. And I don't need Wisdom to go up in the order because he doesn't do as well when he's higher in the order. Like, just leave him at 8 and let him mash. It's fine. I'm cool with it. But you've got to surround him with some other dudes that are doing some things. And I think what we've seen over the course of at least the National Series, but like you lose Yan Gomes and replace Yan Gomes with Tucker Bernhardt, and you're playing Eric Hosmer at DH and Trey Mancini's getting real at bats, and that goes south real fast. It's
like rotten vegetables in the mix.
It is. You cannot have 3 dudes in a row surrounding Wisdom who can't get a hit and pretend that things are going to be okay. And, you know, Danny, we do this thing on Cup of Cubby Blue where we look at hot hitters and cold hitters. And one of the things we said going into the National Series, and it was true, they didn't really have any cold hitters. They didn't really have anybody with a WRC plus under 85 over the last 2 weeks. That is correct. And also, they lost one of their best hitters in Yan Gomes. Like, they had a bunch of guys who were just kind of flailing at the bottom of the lineup. And what Hoyer did in the offseason was he raised the floor. Like, he made it so that the team wasn't going to be, oh my God, so awful that they were unwatchable. But they're still losing a ton of one-run games that nobody is stepping up in the bullpen to claim that closer gig. Like, Cerami is right about the overall numbers. And does anybody feel like the Cubs have a closer? I'm at the point where I just want to see Alzolay claim that job. He's clearly the best pitcher in the pen. Just let him do it.
Yeah, but then you kind of want him for some 2-inning stints if you can get it out of him. Here's my analogy of the Cubs lineup. Is like the first 4 or 5 pretty good, the back 4 or 5 not so good. Like, this is the exact meme of that meme of the horse that's like half drawn and then the other half looks like it was done by a 4-year-old or me because I draw equally as well. But no, it's just like it's not quite put together. And maybe there's still time. Maybe you're treading water at the 500 mark and it's not out of reach. You're not the White Sox, you know, at least there's that. So why don't we do
the Cardinals? It could always be worse.
Oh God. Yeah, but I'm still scared of the Cardinals, even though they're terrible this year somehow.
That's just childhood trauma, Danny.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm scared of Wilson Contreras. I think he's going to come into Chicago on Monday and do what he used to do to the White Sox.
Let's do rakes, flakes, throws, and blows, shall we?
Today I'm going to show you how to rake.
Who's raking?
It's Cody Bellinger. He's the raker this week. He's got 8 hits with a cycle over the week. 4 singles, a double, a triple, and 2 dongs and 2 walks for a 963 OPS to lead the team. But, you know, I'm going to go honorable mention to Wisdom just because he finished out April tied with Alfonso Soriano for the most home runs in Cubs history for the first month of baseball. We will ignore the fact that Sorry never started a season in March, but hey, it's still something, right? all those Cubs
Hell of a lot of homers.
runs are going to be owned by Wisdom. There's Chris Bryant, second rookie home runs. Alfonso Soriano tied for most home runs in the first season, like all that stuff. I just need him to hit 67 home runs maybe next year. And then, and then don't forget about Sammy Sosa too.
So one person, well, I should bring him up in the flakes actually. So I'll wait. So, but you've got some flakes for me, right?
Oh, I do.
Okay, so here you go.
I haven't worried about flakes since my grunge days. Remember them?
I cursed Nico. He went from rake to flake in one short week. His on-base streak ended at 26, and he only had 5 hits and 2 walks in 30 plate appearances for a 179, 250, 179 slash line, 429 OPS. Look, everyone who's listened to this show knows I have always maintained Nico needs to go back to the minors and get about 300 more at bats, and then he might be ready for the major leagues.
Just like a little bacon cookies. Do you know who I want to point out that kind of flaked this week after getting a home run? Like he does have a home run on the week. It was in the first game against the Marlins. And but Nelson Velasquez played in 6 games, had only 12 at bats though, because he came off the bench a couple times. But after that home run, he batted 083. So yeah, it got bad. I was like, no. So I just kind of wanted to temper my expectations about all the guys coming up from AAA.
He's just not getting enough. I don't know. Either he's not getting enough opportunities, or I guess there was only a certain amount of pitchers that he was a good matchup with. I don't know. I still think I don't know. I like Velasquez, but it's tough right now because we have Seiya back. The perfect opportunity to get him at bats and let him play for a little bit is gone. He got to come up with Bellinger was on paternity leave for a minute. That opportunity is gone. So now he's a little more tenuous out there, and I don't know if that
we literally have a designated hitter.
Right. Yeah. That could affect his ability to be ready to play. But I mean, too bad the pitchers take up that 9th spot.
Maybe you didn't
if
get the
only
memo.
there were a place where you could put somebody where you don't have room for them to play defense, but you need them to play offense. If only there were a position for that.
No, that's Nick Madrigal's spot. What are you doing?
Okay, can we talk about the Nick Madrigal, Eric Hosmer DHing thing? Because I can't. It has to stop.
I don't really want to talk about it. I'll yell at it. I'll yell about it.
I can at least. I need to take back like one thing I said about 5 minutes ago before we started Flakes and Rakes, and that is that Trey Mancini has actually been pretty good the last 2 weeks. So props to Trey Mancini for not sucking the last 2 weeks. He wasn't great before that, but the last 2 weeks have been pretty good. That said,
is it like a death gasp, or
I don't think it's a death gasp. I actually think Trey Mancini has some skills and some talent, and he's just been kind of like he got traded from the Orioles to the Astros, and he never really caught fire there. And then he came to the Cubs, and he's kind of getting settled. And Trey Mancini could be good. He could be like an actual legit bench player who is good
solid.
And helpful.
He's the poor man's Ben Zobrist.
Nah,
Go first.
He is not.
If Ben Zobrist could only play first base.
Yeah.
But Trey Mancini can put up like a 172 WRC plus for 2 weeks. And props to him for that, because that is not something Nick Madrigal will ever do. And neither will Eric Hosmer.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So let's do, we were on throws. Let's get a throw.
Throw up my hands to the Lord.
God, I hope that guy doesn't sue me who sang that song.
He's going to sue you just like Jesus did.
The Lord. Oh, man, it's 7 words. I think that's where you get popped.
So the throws, this one, tough. Stroman threw really well this week. 2 games for 12.1 innings. He gave up 2 runs in Miami, 1 run in DC. Got no decisions for both of those for his efforts. But that's because the offense is broken. It has nothing to do with him. He's actually throwing really well this year, and I like it. The other candidate is Smiley for his 7 inning beauty. on May Day to right the sinking Cubs ship for one game. His only misstep really was that second inning dong from Thomas. And then Rossi backed him up with Leiter and Boxberger to get the win, but he only had 84 pitches and probably could have gotten maybe another inning. I don't know. I wasn't upset that they pulled him, but still 84 pitches is weird for a person my age who watched baseball in the 80s, So, flip the coin. I'm going to go with Stroman because he's nice and still has 69 wins and 69 losses.
You know what? All the starting pitching has been pretty damn good this week. It really was the offense that screwed it up.
There were no candidates for blowers out of that starting pitching this week. Like you look at it and you're just like, no, everybody did their job. They did.
Well, I don't know. Caleb Killian. He had a pretty rough outing. We'll talk about him in 1 second.
And I guess yes.
He was bad.
If you want to go to the next one, then that is where we're going.
You just put your lips together and blow.
Yeah. So you're right. Caleb Killian was terrible. I always just sort of forget that he's a starter because it still feels like a bullpen day.
Well, it was. It ended up being one.
Yep. 3.1 innings. He threw 88 pitches. So Smiley got 7 innings at 84 pitches. He had 3.1, 88 pitches. He got touched up for 10 hits and 2 walks for 7 runs. Yeah, that's not good.
What do y'all think about Caleb Killian? And I mean, we've seen him kind of poop the bed a couple times now. I mean,
I think the bloom's off the rose. We had high hopes. I had high hopes. I mean, a couple of years ago, we thought he was the real deal. He's going to come up. Everybody's excited about him getting his opportunity. He's had 1 good game, 2 good games, his first 1 or 2 games. And since then, he hasn't had it.
But he's pitching well. I mean, he wasn't great in the minors when he got into a season, but he was really good in the one AFL start, and everybody got all excited. And he came from the Chris Bryant trade, I want to say. And I mean, I don't know. It's just he looks the part, and then he gets up there and he turns purple and sweaty and kind of, I mean, it feels to me, and let me ask you, is it between the ears?
I think part of it is.
I think so, because I think advanced stats make him a great super prospect, but it doesn't play out when he gets out there in the game.
So can I just add one small thing to that? I was just I wanted actually to look up how old he is. He's 25. And while I was looking that up, I saw his future value grades over at Fangraphs, which I won't get into it, but basically 70 is oh, you're exceptional. I
love when they use
you're going to do amazing things. And 45 is you're probably maybe you'll be a major leaguer someday, but you're going to come in and out of the league. His best grade, his best future value grade is 60 command with a 70 feature value, meaning that people think he's going to be an elite command artist. And the thing about that's wild to me is that he has never really shown, he loses command first, right? So if you go back and watch that inning he had, you'll see that he kind of starts in around the zone. Everything looks like it's going to be fine. And then there's that replay at first base, and Hosmer leaps and tries to make the catch and can't. And all of a sudden it kind of unravels. And before you know it, he's hitting guys and the zone just kind of spreads on him. And that indicates to me that something is going on where he's losing his best skill in the middle of an inning. And I don't think that's a technique thing. The fact that he came back out and threw 2 great innings indicates to me that that's something going on in his thought process. And look, maybe he needs a little bit more time in the minors. Maybe he needs a different coach to talk him through it. I don't know, but it's not. I was really excited when Caleb Killian came up, and I am less excited now.
He looked rattled to me.
Every time he gets close, we get excited. And I'm with you, sir. I get excited. But then he comes up and he blows. And it doesn't matter. I don't care what anything says. He can be the best goddamn pitcher I've that anybody has ever seen on a piece of paper or on whatever slow-mo camera that they have and all the shit. When he gets out there, he can't handle it. And
well, we've seen
he's
that
only
a lot.
25, so maybe someday he gets there, but it's not going to be soon. I don't see that happening until he's got like therapy for like 2 years.
See that, but you see that with guys like Daniel Bard. You see that with guys like Dylan Maples. You see that get with guys, who just they get up there and that there's something that happens between the being in the minor leagues and being in the major leagues, and that's where you really see that. Like almost they have an expectation of what is this supposed to be and how they're supposed to perform. And when they aren't able to do it, it becomes the yips and you spiral and you go kind of down into your own head. It's like how how the entire Cubs team just disappeared from their clutchness over this last week. And then they start getting tight. Somebody's looking to do the big hit. Then you got to press on it. And then it gets worse for you because you're sweating and you're like, we got to do it. And it's just like the performance anxiety, I feel, is really getting to this kid. And I feel terrible. And they're young. So, their heart's going like this. And it's just, I feel bad for them. But I think we should do the Miami Marlins poem because I want to give that horrible sweep, short shrift. Nobody wants to talk about 3 losses where we just hit into double plays.
You don't want to talk about 3 losses so that we can move on to 3 losses.
Yeah, 3 losses, but a win. At least Johnny Onomatopoeia will be here to at least somebody will be happy on this show for once. Why don't you pull up your little Marlins poem? So and I'll play you some poetry music.
All right. What's the opposite of a comeback? It's a trap. Cubs to Miami, straight in the tank. Got shanked. Multiple runners hung out to dry. Bullpen died. 3 times 1, not a huge sum. 3 L's done. Why in the hell do we see them again next weekend? That's it.
Yeah, well, here's your preview for the next series. It's what happened last weekend, almost exactly. So,
if you're doing the bingo board, mark your "we hate the people who make the schedule" because we talk about it all the fucking time.
Yep.
LA, we saw them in the exact same situation. We see them away. We see another team. We see them at home, and we're doing the same thing with the Marlins. And this is it's just fucking stupid, and it's being lazy. Somebody looked at the schedule and didn't want to fuck with it anymore. They're just like, who gives a shit? Just fucking let them play the Marlins 7 days straight.
Well, the thing
do it like it's fucking single A.
The thing I don't like about it is we play Cabrera and Hoeing, who we just saw. And they get to see Steele and Smiley, who they also just saw. So, and then you got Alcantara versus Wisniewski for the last game. So that's the thing that bothers me is that you don't get to see teams in kind of different iterations throughout the season as they move along. Yeah, that was just a frustrating series. A lot of runners in scoring position and double plays. And I don't think we can talk. I think the poem is the best thing that actually could come out of this series. So why don't we take it to a commercial break, come back and talk about this Nat series with Johnny Onomatopoeia. We're going to play a couple commercials right now, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn, line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today. We are back. Welcome back to the Ranto Show. We are going to give away. We have the Amazon page at Amazon or sunranto.com/stuff. I'm not going to play the commercial, but if you shop at Amazon at all, you are through our page by just clicking our little Amazon ads and buying the crap you buy anyway. You get added to our list, and all the different things that you bought are now eligible to win a monthly prize. This monthly prize is this cute little Cubs thermos guy, and we have a few different entries, 49 to be exact. We've got some Revlon, a Revlon hair dryer somebody bought, some bar soap. Now I can't see who bought what. I could just see that it was bought. So each one of these is going to correspond to a number. There are 49 total in this competition. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to pick a number that will correspond to the winning number. So let's see who wins. If you shop at Amazon, you could win this. Sunranto.com/stuff.
If it's any of the numbers from 1 to 8, I'm using it too.
Number 23 for Ryan Sandberg is the winner. Let's see who the winner is. It's going to correspond to a number, I believe, on this page. Oh, no, this page. Number 23. The winner is the person who bought the Ernie Ball regular slinky nickel wound electric guitar strings.
Oh.
So
nice.
Whoever's out there buying some guitar strings, you win. Please contact me and I will send you your prize, this cute little thermos.
And might I recommend for next month, go out there, go to Amazon, use our link, and get Sandy Marchetti's book, Aisle 228, off of Amazon. It would be kind of fun if we could then give somebody a prize for buying that book.
Yeah, that would be kismetic, if you will. Well, welcome to the show, Johnny Onomatopoeia, Nationals enthusiast. Johnny, congratulations on your winning 3 of 4. We don't have a bet this year, do we?
You know, Danny, we don't have a bet this year because I owe you from last year and I will deliver. But it does just seem like I'm your deadbeat bet friend who it's like, why even bother with a new one?
I mean, you could have got double or nothing. Yeah, I think we did that once before.
For sure. And I'm looking forward to doing the 2022 bet. That one I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, and I keep saying, every now and again I send you stuff, and you lost the bet. So the bet was that Johnny had to take a day job off of Craigslist, even though he doesn't need the money, and it just had to be some random stupid thing. And I knew you'd pick something good, like help an old lady move a dresser, or like teach French to a kid, or I don't know, something. Even though you don't speak French, like that would be.
And you're only going to do it for a half hour.
Exactly, yeah, so, and you've put your finger on it. Is that I'm sad for the old lady because her dresser needs to be moved, but meanwhile she's part of a prank, And then at the end, I'm like, oh, I talked about the Cubs, but your dresser has drawers that are like moving against the wall. So I haven't quite figured out how to do it.
She
yet.
loses her security deposit just because you tore up her wall.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about this national series. We lose 3 of 4. Cubs bats just did not show up in this thing. Who the hell is Lane Thomas, and does he own a line of furniture stores?
Yeah, and I just wanted to
Exactly.
say if you put hashtag LT20 in the chat, you can get 30% off a dining room set just through now from midnight. Not available in Chicago. No, but Lane Thomas,
And then you
listen,
can go out on Craigslist and get Johnny to come over to your house and move it.
I'll assemble it.
Furniture, pranks with a conscience. We're doing it all here on Sun Ranto tonight.
It is true though that this is for real. The Nationals blew their team up, and I don't know all of the players, and I'm not on here as an expert, but I'll just throw this out to Infield Fly and Sarah. I know everyone's here, and Danny, is that the rebuilding thing is we got rid of Trey and we got rid of all my people in one, and so we have a lot of people in the pipeline. There was a lot of talk of pipeline. And and Lane is one of them. He's supposed to be good, and we've accidentally beaten y'all.
He has exactly. He hit 2 homers this series, and guess how many he has on the year?
2.
Yes, exactly. They're both against the freaking Cubs.
I was gonna guess 1, but then I didn't know how the rules worked.
So I looked him up, and he had a few cups of coffee in the majors with the freaking Cardinals. And I don't know how this is just one of those dudes that they made up out of their little made up guy lab. Lane Thomas, now he's a National, still has his Cardinal Cub killer in him because he's got 147 OPS plus against the Cubs. He is 47% better playing the Cubs. And yeah, I never heard of him. And then
but that's some Nepo baby shit because he's Frank Thomas's son.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
So
doesn't that make sense?
That means he's as
Yeah,
illegitimate.
for
I'm
a
happy
whole
about
bunch of reasons.
Yeah, I'm down.
So
for
it's my understanding that Eric Hosmer refused a trade to the Nationals. Do you think if we tried again, it would stick?
No.
IFG, here is a for real thing to let you all know. I have a little bit of information, and I told you all about this last year, is that the Washington Nationals baseball team is for sale. And that is part of why they got rid of all their players, because they thought that maybe having these long-term expensive contracts like Juan Soto and Trey Turner and Scherzer would have been a shorter term, but they thought that maybe getting all those off the deal would attract a buyer, and a sale is going to go through. It is possible that in the next 48 hours, the team will be sold.
What's interesting is that's how I sold my car too. I took the stereo out. I got rid of one tire, and then I'm like, I feel like more people should want it.
You know what's weird is that you had a manual, and then when you went to sell it, they outlawed the shift. That was for him.
Actually, I
was
think Cotton
beautiful.
just took the
I loved
shift
it.
out of the car before he tried to sell it. It's like, no shifting gears for you.
Yes, that it was just a personal thing. And so the last note is that when the Nats were given a team, what do you call that? They were only 90 minutes away from Peter Angelos, who owned the Baltimore Orioles. And so the deal was they had to make Peter whole. And so the Orioles were given this very positive media contract. And I'm almost done. And that media contract was just resolved, which means within the next week, the Nats will be sold.
Wow.
That's pretty exciting in some ways.
That's some in-depth economic reporting right there. I'm into it.
Micro and macro.
Well, and well, and what's interesting about it is the Cubs did the exact same thing. They stripped it down to the bones, and Sam Zell bought the Tribune and then sold it to the Ricketts, and it was just, and then immediately though, things actually got worse. So how are people thinking in DC? Do you think it's going to get worse before it gets better so they can like build it in their own way, and then they're going to get a new GM? And it's like, are they going to totally like, is the GM gone? Are they getting rid of the coaches? Is Davey Martinez going to be out? It's like, how are they going to tear it down further, or are they going to build it from where they are now?
One positive thing is that the DC Sports is in a transition. You know, the Washington football team owner just got booted out. And so the thought is that the Nationals will be purchased by a 95-year-old man who does have some largesse in the community because he owns the Capitals and the WNBA team and a third team I can't think of. So the idea is that like he's cool, everyone likes
Generals?
him.
Does he?
Yeah. They beat the Globetrotters once.
But
look it up.
Here's the problem with that. Like, if he's like this 95-year-old guy, like maybe he's okay, but then he's gonna die, and he's gonna give it to his kids. And if you see
who are 87, like
IFG, great point. You know, it's funny. We think that these 90-year-olds have 32-year-old children, but you're right. They put 70-year-old children. That's a great point.
They're dead children.
They're grandchildren, and it'll be
they're all on statins.
It'll be a Colorado Rockies Monfort situation where just this stupid like royal family just keeps giving their fucking team down to their children, and they just keep ruining it worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, they're calling it Montfort and Sons. But it's true that it's like the buses, but there's hope.
So, we all gave you a minute.
I'm really like trying to wrap my head around what that really means. And like, are these going to be like the DraftKings Nationals? Like the 95-year-old is not buying this team because he's a huge fan of baseball. He's doing it to multiply money.
Yeah.
That he literally can't take with him. I don't understand rich people at all. But
but you said there's hope that they're going to make the team better. That
I think Phil Flygirl and everyone. I think the point is that this family is local. They like DC. I think there's a concern always that, you know, the Nats have only been there for about 13 years. What if someone buys them and takes them back out of the city? You know, that, so it's nice that this is the Lerner family. They're real estate investors. They're local, and so that feels like a positive thing to Nats fans, is that they're probably not gonna let the team pack up in the night.
Well, David Elliott actually would like to see the Montreal Nationals happen. He says, can we come up with a better name? I think they might change their name from the Nationals at the point that they would move to Montreal. And then also in the chat, I wanted to bring this up because watching CJ Edwards stick it to the Cubs is like watching your ex-girlfriend on The Bachelor, says Terry E. And he really did. He got into trouble in that one game, loaded the bases.
That's the one that I saw. Like, and he didn't look.
What I don't understand is why there isn't already a CJ Edwards curly W flag that he can run around with. Because, like, the best part of the CJ Edwards era was the W flag, and y'all have a W. It's just weird and Walgreens-ish. So, like, just put it on a flag and let CJ run wild.
Perfect.
So
he should open every game running around with that flag on his shoulders.
So running out from the bullpen, woo!
To Baby Shark.
I know he. So I know that like Carl Edwards Jr. may or may not be part of the next great Nationals team and stuff, but you know, he has value as a pitcher. And your bullpen though was all a bunch of scrap heap dudes, and they just mowed us down. And I'm wondering, we are overpaying for our guys who are blowing saves left and right, and then you guys got a bunch of you had a dudes like throwing almost 100 today.
Danny, instead of asking me what did the Nationals bring, what happened to y'all? Because
we're bad.
That too. The Nationals have famously, for the last 6 years, not had a bullpen. You know, ERAs of 17 plus, you know, numbers that seemingly are. So how did y'all come off the Miami stint and then make our bullpen look good?
It's a great question.
Well, I tell you, Bill Sugas he had mentioned something in the Discord chat this week, and I'm going to put it up real quick. He goes, feels like Ross makes decisions based on Chat GPT, except he is far too fucking stupid to know what Chat GPT is. Yes, I'm going to be in a shit mood for a while. That was after one of these losses because, we brought it up before, the Hosmer bunt. Made no sense. By the way, did you see that Hosmer's bunt was actually a positive 3% launch angle on that?
And it was, and for him, that's like going in the correct direction.
And wasn't it like this close from being a double play anyway?
Oh yeah, he's so lucky that he beat that thing out. But it didn't matter anyway because then they put Velasquez on first to run for him, and then it didn't matter because hit no double play anyway on the next freaking pitch. So it's like, so there was just like a lot of that happened in the Marlins series too. So you ask like why we're first in almost all categories, and yet are under 500. There's a few places to blame, and I'm starting to blame the manager and some like dumb. Like there was a situation with our third base situation with Matt playing magical every day. And then you took Wisdom out of a game to pinch hit. I think it was Hosmer that they pinch hit Hosmer
it
for.
Was.
And
He's
then
thrown those handfuls of salt in there, Rossi.
Exactly.
Listen, I too
a little bit of salt in your soup is fine. We don't need the whole freaking container.
I too would pull my best power hitter for Eric Hosmer's ground balls and pop-ups. That's how you become a MLB manager, at least according to Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins.
I mean, it does sound like some Chat GPT shit. It's like I ask Chat GPT to write songs sometimes, and they're terrible. They're kind of funny, and you can't even, but they're so bad you can't even like spruce them up. You know what I mean? They're not good. Like
I asked Chat GPT to write me a poem in response to the poem I heard earlier, and it came up with a haiku.
Oh, let's hear it.
See a double play, then two former Nats catchers, then a double play.
That is the best IQ of all time.
That's beautiful.
Bang.
Former Nationals catchers. What?
Suzuki, who I guess is not actually a former catcher, and then Danny, help me.
Oh, Barnhart?
Jan.
Yeah, Jan Gomes, who got hit with a backswing and is now on the IL, which actually opened up a momentary roster spot for right now. We didn't do the poem for this, did we?
Oh no, not for the Nats.
We should do the poem.
I just did.
Yeah, I mean,
the Cubs poet.
That's a guess.
Johnny's
poem.
over there. Johnny's like, give me some fucking respect here. All right. Failing in our nation's capital, dropping 3 to the Nationals. W in game 1 was fun. Cubs scored 5 whole runs, but it was a drag in 2 and 3 and 4 when they only scored 5 more. 6 out of 7 flying the L. Without wins, stats can go to hell. But Jed's plan will continue, claiming they are breaking through, even as next starts here fades back into wait till next year.
It's a little early for wait till next year, don't you think? It's only May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th.
And with your spirit.
Danny, I think we need a new segment on the show, and I'm just going to propose. Is it Carter Hawkins or is it Chat GPT?
Oh, there we go.
I think she's on something.
I think it is good at that kind of speaking. It's just not good at
I mean, I don't know, man. This is a quote. This is a quote from an Athletic article earlier this week.
Okay.
About Morel and Mervis. It's a multivariable conversation. You're taking into account the macro view of the major league team and where there are opportunities to improve. And then you're looking at a particular minor league player and where he is. There's the roster status piece, how many options he has, service time, the roster spots that we have. How's he playing? Will he get to play every day? All those things start to come into effect, thinking through what's the best thing for the player and the team. There's no easy answer to those because there's no actual formula to make those decisions. ChatGPT could do that.
That's the
Guys,
His job is to make up that formula.
It is your job.
It's whole job.
my
You're right.
therapist said that was going to be private.
Right.
Why does he exist if he does not know how to do that calculation?
It's like, this is a little hard, so we're just not going to do anything.
Well,
if that's cool.
And that's
There's a lot of variables,
Like,
okay?
in
And there's a
that
macro view and a
mentioned
micro
winning
view, and it's
baseball
just it's hard.
and that's the problem, right? That whole sentence is exactly why they can't fucking pull the trigger and do the right thing. None of the ranchers are out there fucking looking at variables and this and that and up and down. They're like, we want the fucking Cubs to win. So let's put the best players on the field and see how that works.
But he's thinking about the Cubs winning a game sometime in 2026, 2027, and he's got.
I might not be alive then. I want to see
agree.
them win today, please. I'm begging you.
So, well, we got the bitch clock ready to go, and Johnny, I thought maybe I could put you into the bitch clock seat, and if you wouldn't mind taking there's no spin of the wheel this time. I don't have a Nationals spin, but if you have a kind of general grievances about your current team situation, we'd love to hear them. I got a 30-second bitch clock this time. Are you ready?
So wait, he's got to come up with something on his own? You're not even going to give him a topic?
No.
I have faith he can come up with something to bitch about for 30 seconds.
This is, you telling me you couldn't do it about the Cubs? Give me.
I think I just did.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole damn show. So this is just 30 seconds. Are you ready, Johnny?
Yes, Danny.
Here we go.
30 seconds to bitch.
Wait, hold on.
Bitch clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
I would love to love the Washington Nationals. I would love to care about the actual pitch clock and the fact that the bases are bigger. But the fact is, when I turn on the game, I have no idea to which team I am listening. They say Jones is up and he's being pitched to by Franklin. And the point is, I don't know the name of anyone, and that makes it not fun. And I like the name Wisdom on the Cubs. Bye.
Stop your bitching.
Very nice job, Johnny. We have the same problem in Chicago. If you're not a fan of the major leagues and all the players, all of our players are new. And so when I'm at the game with my mom, I got to explain everybody. I'm like, well, he was on the Nationals and he was on the Dodgers and this guy was on the Orioles, but then he got traded. Like,
Danny, you know me that I'm a fan. I'm the biggest fan of baseball on the radio. And so I love my play-by-play guys, the color guys, like they're great. And so it's just, Mitchell throws it to Schenectady and does a double play to Whippenstock. And I'm like, I don't even know are we on the top or are we on the bottom? Like I'm rooting. I'm trying to pick up context clues. Like the fans seem like they're into this. And is this a home game? It's a science calculation every time I hear a call.
I have a really close friend in my CPBL Asian baseball group chat who's also a huge Nationals fan, and he sends me a message and he goes, I should probably gloat about beating the Cubs, but
You nailed it. And it's funny too. And just last thing is that the Nationals have this diaspora of great players that have left. They've gone to the Phillies, and who's the home run guy to the Phillies? Harper. So I do it by context clues of who's no longer on the Nats. They say, oh, Trey Turner hit a home run. I'm like, okay, that's bad. And then Harper fielded it, and I'm like, oh, shucks. It's only the opposite.
I mean, I felt that way watching Carl Edwards Jr. this time. I mean, I really did like Carl as a. They kind of screwed him up. They changed his the way he wound up. And
remember that triple toe tap they had him doing?
They made him do something. Then it was they basically
but
taught
then
him
they immediately called it a balk.
Yeah, the Cubs made him balk. They ruined his whole thing. They're like, all right, here's your new thing. You balk. You're like, what? It's like, what are you doing?
And the Brewers ruined it.
Go with me here.
Yeah. Well, it's their job to ruin it. You can't balk. I mean, anyway, it was nice to see him again. I was dancing with him down in Stewart's basement. He's like a fun guy. And I miss having dudes on the team. And then the one guy I was kind of getting like that with, Morel, they don't even bring him up.
Yeah.
So anyway, at least Mervis is coming, but I think he's angry.
He should be. Mervis should have a chip on his shoulder the size of the city of Chicago. And I hope he comes to the plate with that chip on his shoulder every single day. And I just have a hunch. I'm so glad that I bought my ticket to tomorrow's game before Mervis was announced, because one, I'm sure that ticket is a lot more money right now. But two, it is going to be amazing to hang out in the bleachers on Cinco de Mervis. And I have a hunch that dude is going to rake.
Cinco de Mervis, is that happening?
Well,
it is only
it's a thing only if he does something big. Otherwise, it's just going to be over. But maybe everybody will.
What if he gets 5 hits?
Then it's definitely Cinco de Mervis. And also, just
your lips to God's ears. That's all I'm saying.
It's 3 years for me quitting smoking too tomorrow. Cinco de Danny. How about
Cinco
that?
de Danny.
Yeah.
What if David Ross sits him on the bench for 5 innings?
I'm going to lose
I will
my
kick him in the kneecap.
He's not playing tomorrow. We already know. He's not.
David Ross is just going to be like, fuck your Cinco de Mervis.
Yeah, we're not doing that. You're Siete de Mervis. Now sit down.
Does it actually feel like David Ross kind of doesn't like fun?
Yes.
David Ross doesn't like fun, and he doesn't like the kids. That's why they gave him a whole team full of like 30-year-old guys who like go for steak dinner on Sunday night.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe only liked toddlers.
Yeah.
Like Nelson Velasquez would have been in the lineup for a week and a half after that grand slam. It would have been like, well, Nelly time. Like, let's go. Let's see what Nelly can do. Nelly, you want to play left field? You want to play first? Play a little first. Nelly, how do you feel about second base? Like, come on out here.
We need a catcher. Can you put some gear on? Let's see what happens.
David Ross is like, I'm sorry. I had a lineup that was submitted 7 days ago, and I'm going to have to get Carter Hawkins' approval and Jed Hoyer's approval if I would like to change that lineup. So Nelson Velasquez, we'll see you next Tuesday.
If you don't have an AARP card, you can't be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, it puts into perspective the whole Grandpa Rossi thing. Everybody thought it was like, oh, it was fun. That was actually like all those young guys on that team giving him like real shit. But he had to just like grin and bear it because he was like a backup fucking catcher. And he ended up did kind of like it. But as soon as he got put in charge, he's like, fuck those kids.
Yeah, he doesn't like the kids. So we're going to take another commercial break, but I got even more exciting news for you is that I'm going to add to this conversation fans of this is hilarious. Terry E. Wait, put that back up. Terry E. in the chat. David Ross is still in concussion protocol from Dancing with the Stars. Remember when the dancer farted in his face? That was freaking hysterical. So anyway, we're gonna add a couple more voices, 3 more voices to this conversation. We got Eric Wheelo coming on. We got Billy DeVore and Brian Ziegler, a Pirates enthusiast who's just like dancing on cloud 9 up there. From the first place Pirates, but we're going to add him to the conversation. And Johnny, great job on the bitch clock. You're more than welcome to hang out.
Danny, there's a 4th voice. It's me, Al Pacino.
What I find funny is that no Cardinals fans.
No, I tried to get Dennis
showing up.
Let's see if he texted me. Let's see.
I'll be cheering for Wilson Contreras on Monday. Does that count?
I have something I think we ought to do on Monday, but Sarah's going to disagree with me. But we're going to play a commercial, come right back and argue all about it. Be right back.
If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger smoking dupes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stro. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In The Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch.
Welcome back to the Ranto Show. I made it back. Johnny O didn't make it back. IFG didn't make it back. I am the champion peer in the world. So I just want to introduce these guys a little bit one by one. I'm going to introduce them in the order of how they sit in the standings, shall we?
There we go.
So we're going to bring on Brian Ziegler. Brian's a great friend of mine from way back in the day, reading his PC Richard and Son pamphlet.
I'm sorry. I keep my World Series tickets in here. So
there's not enough dust on that.
We have got to work out the timing of these commercials to give me enough time to get another beer.
So, Brian, this is IFG. She's just coming back from getting a beer. IFG Brian, Sarah Brian, you and Michael Cotton go way back from such series as all the series from the past between the Pirates and the Cubs. But well, Brian, you're in first place. Congratulations. I think this is the first time you've ever been on this show when we could have said that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brian's an old friend of mine, great guitar player. What's the name of the band right now, just in case I forget to let you plug it?
I'm actually making a world announcement today. I'm starting a new project called 10-4 Dinosaur, which is punk songs about the realization that I'm old now. So keep an eye out for it.
That's pretty much what Bleacher Bum Band is too, but with a Cubs bent.
Yeah,
So next in the standings is our Brewers fan, comedian friend, Mr. Eric Wheelo. Eric, welcome back to the Ranto Show. Second place, how's it feeling being with looking up at the Pirates' butt?
It won't be long, be honest with you. No, it's good, man. Old Mr. Consistent, as usual, as a Brewers fan over here. We're usually sitting in first or second around this time of the year. Then we hit the All-Star break and, we tank. So we'll see how we go.
Unless we're in first place, in which case you quickly overtake us.
I was going to say, by usually you mean since like 2018, right?
Well, if it's like 5 years now, Sarah. It's like
I'm just saying, 2018 is like yesterday.
It's 10% of my life.
Jake Arrieta was on the Cubs, man, for the second time. I'm just
kidding. So, and then, of course, the Cubs are plenty represented on this show. So we're going to bring on our Reds fan, comedian friend, and in the clutch extraordinaire. I don't know what his job position even is. Entrepreneur. Billy DeVore.
Hello.
In fourth place. Welcome to the.
Oh, he's got that Shonley fans on.
Oh, nice.
I need that one.
I'm also wearing a In the Clutch shirt. I've got the Ian Happ Waffles shirt on.
Danny, nice rap, by the way. I didn't know you had it in you. That was spectacular.
Oh, the rapping?
Yes. That's great.
Yeah, it's been eventful. Danny can rap, and then Cotton's been replaced by Chat GPT.
I'm actually.
Can we replace the Cardinals with Chat GPT?
Sure, I'll get Chat GPT up, and we can ask that questions about the Cardinals, and I don't know where that will end up, but I first got to ask Brian, because you are in first place, so I'm going to let you start. What the fuck is happening?
Well, I'm not even going to pretend this is going to last, but the honest truth is they brought in a couple of elderly folks to kind of patch the holes while we're waiting for. I mean, there really are a bunch of good kids in double and AAA that are getting ready to come up in the next year or two. This really was supposed to be a transition year, and they brought in a couple of senior citizens and never were prospects who are all playing out of their minds. I mean, you've got a team where Connor Joe has an OPS of almost 1,000. He never hit for average or power.
Wait a second.
And
Connor
he's
Joe
hit for both. Yeah.
Didn't Connor Joe play on the Rockies last year?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, he had he was like a folk hero in Denver last year. So
he's a good kid. It's just he's never been able to kind of put it all together. This year, Kutch is looking like a Major League Baseball player again, which, I love him, and so does McCutcheon, the baseball
It's the
duck.
Dick Mountain effect, I'm telling you.
And Rich Hill's pitching out of his mind.
I love him so much. Thank you.
Dick Mountain.
I mean, it's funny. You watch him, and I think I could hit those meatballs, and somehow they just curve right out of the he's looking good. So I mean, you've got a bunch of people who are all playing over their heads. I honestly thought it was over the minute O'Neill Cruz slid into home like a deer, but somehow they've held it together. I think this team. I think they're going to be 500-ish by the end of the season. They might even fight for a third wild card, but they're better than a lot of people thought, but they're not this good.
Wait, but that's our plan. You guys still
Hold on.
I'll do this.
I do believe that is the entire NL Central's plan, with the exception of the Brewers, who do appear to want to win.
Billy, Danny, and Brian all together say, but that was our plan.
The whole division's like, if we finish 500, we've got a chance. And the Brewers are like, we're going to win.
Oh, man.
And
the Pirates finished 500. They're celebrating in the streets, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys have a parade, right?
Just like nothing but like discarded Yingling bottles everywhere.
Send me some.
We are going to the Yingling parade in Pittsburgh if that happens, by the way.
No doubt.
But yeah, it would be a bad day to be a couch. That thing's on fire, dude.
So, because of Pittsburgh's, I just say what the standings are. Pittsburgh's a game ahead of Milwaukee, 20-12, 18-12. Cubs are now 15-16, a game under 500. Then it's Cincinnati, 13-18, and St. Louis is 10-22.
Danny, look how streaky the whole National League is. If you throw that up there, I mean, there's losing 3, losing 4, losing 6, St. Louis, winning 6, the Dodgers. I mean, it's a streaky.
St. Louis, I really do want to point this out. 1-9 in their last 10.
Right.
Yeah,
Dude.
fuck them.
They're so bad.
Can we all come together on this one and be really happy about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll drink that.
Cheers,
Also,
cheers.
whoever said it would be a bad day to be a couch, I almost died. So
Do they have a worse record than the Nationals?
Yeah.
Yes.
They do. Nationals.
I think they have the worst record of the National League.
Yes.
Yeah, they are the worst team in the National League right now. With only
That
10
feels
The
wins.
most erotic thing I've ever heard in my life.
They just made double digits.
It's the Contreras curse.
Hey, we are not slandering Wilson Contreras on any show that I am on.
So
We're not slandering any Contreras. All the Contrerases are outstanding.
Well, you must have never watched this show before, because they do it every episode.
Well,
I've been on the show, and I am on the Contreras team.
Yeah. See, and Sarah, I was on the Contreras team with you preseason because it was just so stupid. So everybody just flipped a switch and said that they didn't like him anymore after the Cubs fucked him and sent him. I'm having a little trouble now because he's kind of being a dick. Like, he's kind of like being full Cardinal. Like, he's really embraced.
That was predictable. Like, we
Once
knew
again,
he was
He's
gonna do
embraced the suck down there.
that. We knew
Once
he was going
again,
to do that.
Always called him a dick. Always knew he was a dick. Nobody believed me.
But
he was our dick before.
The Cubs,
though, no?
he was actually, the Cubs reined him in. Like, if you thought he was a dick when he was with the Cubs, like, oh my God, you must think he's Hitler now.
Nah, we all knew the dude had a thing about like Mia Khalifa's DMs. Like we all knew who Wilson Contreras was. It's not like if some of you thought he was a saint and I was out here cheering for a saint, like I don't know what to tell you. Like
he was our
Wilson
little shithead and we loved him.
No, but he wasn't nearly as shitty.
In Texas, and he is a very good baseball player, and the Cubs are going to regret letting him go to the Cardinals. And so I fully anticipate that come Monday, Wilson Contreras is going to go like, I don't know, 7 for 13 with 3 home runs and a few doubles, and it's going to be incredible. And I'm going to be in the stands in my Contreras gear cheering for Wilson the whole time, and then I'm going to cheer for the Cubs to win.
Well, I want to hear, how is the other Contreras doing, Eric? You've got the other Contreras brother, and I wrote down some of these, like kind of how the Central is lining up as far as like first, second, third place goes, and the Brewers, they're not leading in any categories offensively. They're the only place that I see that you're leading is in your relievers ERA. Everything else is like third, fourth in the league. Like, so how are you winning games? How are you sitting right there with a overachieving Pirates?
This is a serious question because we have all those good stats and we're behind you.
It comes down to pitching. Our relievers have been great. I think we rank in the top 5 in the league coming out of that bullpen. Other thing is we're playing really great defense this year. A lot of young guys, just playing great outfield. And the starting pitching has been really consistent for the Brewers. And we've done this without Brandon Woodruff for the majority of this season. So I would say it's starting pitching, relievers, and a really hot Rowdy Tellez and William Contreras, who's batting, I think, 282 with the team right now. And he's taking...
Eric, I've never mentioned anyone mention outfield. Is really like being in the outfield that important? Good outfielders?
Yeah, it's really important. We got a lot of speedy guys out there. We have Joey Weimer. We had Garrett Mitchell for a long time. And, they could really get on some balls. They're making some great catches. They could cut off a double. They're saving home runs.
Number one.
The Nationals fan is naturally asking because they gave away all of their outfielders to the Phillies. So
number one in defensive efficiency ratio, otherwise known as DER. Number one in caught stealing with your catchers. Which is hard to do in a year like this. And also in the Central, the best in not committing errors. Whereas the Cubs, they actually rank second. They don't rank too badly in those situations, but you're catching it.
And I will say, speaking of catching, like William Contreras, the cool thing with the Brewers is it's almost like catcher's university. Like they always say, a guy doesn't know how to frame, and he comes to the Brewers and he figures it out. That happened with Grandal. I remember he had defensive liabilities with Dodgers, came to the Brewers, signed a huge contract with the White Sox, and now you're seeing it with William, and it's awesome to see him develop. And that bat's always been there. I mean, this guy was an all-star last year, and he's got a great team-friendly contract. So there's a lot of excitement there. I will say downsides of this team, that Christian Yelich contract is potentially going to bury this team long-term future because he's still not showing up for this team.
It's very like 6 hitting coaches. So
can I just say Wilson Contreras is my favorite player and William Contreras might be the better hitter. And I am not the only person who's ever said that. Like, I think Wilson Contreras said that about his brother in like an interview that they did last year. And I would also like to point out, since we have a Pirates person on the show, there are 3 Contreras in the NL Central right now, and none of them are on the Cubs. And I feel like this is Jed Hoyer's fault, and I might burn it down at 1066 West Addison.
Hold on, the Pirates have a Contreras too? Like
Ronzi Contreras, who is not a Contreras brother, but he is a Contreras, and he's a very good Contreras. And I just feel like everybody's got a Contreras above replacement, and the Cubs were like, "Now we're out."
Okay. See, that's where I got confused because I was like, I didn't know there was another brother, but there's not. It's a brother from another.
There is another brother, but he doesn't play baseball.
A little side note of Cubs catchers that you let go. Victor Caratini also hitting 333 on the team. So there you go, guys.
I love Victor.
Throwing Victor Caratini into the Darvish deal was the worst. Sorry, I'll stop.
I said at the time that the only thing that made letting Darvish go okay was the fact that the two of them went together, and then he ended up getting on the Brewers, and that just ruined everything.
Yeah.
For the record, before everything passes up and I don't get a chance to say it. Brian, I'm so happy for you and all of your Pirates fan friends. You guys have suffered Bob nutting for so long, and the long-suffering Pirates fans deserve every single second of the joy that you guys have in being in first place. I'm so happy for you.
How about Brian?
They're all now Bob nutting everywhere.
on the couches.
I will raise an Iron City to you for that. Thank you.
Well,
and I love the dad joke here. Sarah is truly a contrarian.
And then Brian, with also locking up Brian Reynolds too.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest contract in Pirates history. So like that's got to turn everybody's heads a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it was an undermarket deal. I mean, he really wanted to stay. I might not be nice to say, but I don't know if Brian Reynolds has the fortitude to be traded to the Yankees or the Dodgers. I don't think it's in his head. I think he wanted to stay, but he wanted to be paid. So I mean, he got a bag. It wasn't the Garrett Cole bag, but when you're in nine figures, we'll take it. I think it was a good deal.
Life-changing money, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was 105 million or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. For 8 years.
Johnny's over there counting zeros, and he's like, Brian Reynolds is fine.
No, he's in 11 figures. I'm out of fingers.
So, how about Billy? Fourth place with the Reds, which is a shock because you got to feel pretty good about fourth place, especially with the Cardinals looking up at you. But how's your season going so far?
Good. If you look at games. Yeah, and you'll see us in September. A lot of one-run losses, which is surprising. I mean, they're extremely competitive with the roster that they have now, considering what is coming, and it's going to be very soon. So you feel good. The bullpen is better than advertised, which they've gone. There was a stretch for 2 weeks where they had a sub-2 ERA, which I didn't think I would ever say.
Wow.
Yeah. And the fact that we locked up Hunter Green long-term shows you that they have a plan with the core that's here and that they are committed to it. And it's just going to take a little time, not as long as it was in the middle of the 2010s, where it took 4 years with no plan and no one's driving the bus. But now we have someone driving the bus and they aren't going to put it into a concrete wall. So it's good. I feel better about the future. And actually this season, they're a really fun competitive team to watch. High on base percentage with your top 5 hitters. The only problem is you don't have anybody hitting dingers. There's nobody bringing anybody in. So you got a lot of runners left on base, but you don't have someone who's like, that guy's going to knock it out of the park when old Joey Votto is still on the injured reserve list.
It is so weird to hear you talk, Billy, because so much of what you just said could be said about the Cubs.
Yeah, I was having the same thought.
Pissed, and you seem happy. Like, what the fuck is going on?
You're like, if we just
you're
get
melting
one.
my brain.
Yeah, but
well, I've got chili for brains, so that's I'm fine.
So
Yeah. Well, the spaghetti is what's left of my Surtex or whatever you call it. I don't know. I have chili up here.
But I tell you, if we ever meet in the playoffs, you have the ultimate Pirates killer, because every time Jonathan India comes to bat, I know bad things are going to happen for us.
That's very true. But he's not going to be here long term.
I really thought you were going to pick up that cat and be like, this cat is named Jonathan India.
I think, this is Ezra. Yeah.
So I did promise you guys to do a bitch clock about your team. So anybody want to volunteer to go first? And this is just going to be an open-ended one. I got no spinny wheel this time because I didn't get the topics. So this just generally bitching about your team for 30 seconds. And I saw somebody in the chat before, I think it was Bill Suga, says, I thought the bitch clock was 60 seconds. Well, 60 seconds was getting a little bit long. And so
Bill.
Yeah, we can get some 30 seconds ones. We'll get some 30 seconds. That feels short. Maybe it should be, I don't know. It should be 69 seconds for this show, but
nice. Danny, in the previous hour, I went for 30 seconds and it went fast, but you know what, Bill? That's gonna focus us.
It should be 25 seconds, but you gotta, but somebody else has to be ready to jump in at 8 seconds.
It was 60 seconds.
20
but
seconds
the
with
bases are
runners on
larger.
base.
Well, yeah.
We all have to be paying attention at 12 seconds. Yeah. So, all right. Should I pick? I'm going to pick who goes first because Billy, you've done this before. So why don't you show Brian how it's done before we get to him. I was going to make Brian go. I was going to go make Brian go first because being in first place, but I'm just going to let him enjoy this moment and see what this is all about.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to put Billy in the bitch clock seat of honor. And here we go. The bitch clock. Wait.
Bitch clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
I need one good goddamn reason why Andrew Abbott is in AAA and why he's not up here pitching with the professional baseball team. The guy has 30 million strikeouts to 2 walks, and yet he's just floundering in Louisville. What are we doing here? Bring him on up here. We've got more bridges and shit. Luis Cessa, go back to the pen or wherever the hell else you need to be. Resuscitate that 4 spot and get Andrew Abbott up here in the pros.
Nice.
Please.
Very
That was an incredibly polite bitch session.
Yep.
Thank you.
Please and everything.
Very specific about the pitching. So, like, we have that situation too. It's like the Reds and the Cubs are unfortunately on the same plane at this moment. We're just complaining about slightly different things. It's
man. Well, the thing is also you guys like I could have gone longer with Matt McClain hit for a fucking cycle today in AAA. Why can't you make a spot for him? Yet we have Kevin Newman playing short or Stuart Fairchild, who's 5'2", out in left field. This makes no sense.
We have the same team, and I'm devastated.
Yeah, but we didn't spend
one short guys. Come on.
But we didn't spend $160 million in the offseason, though. This is all homegrown. So it's like it shows that our development's maybe a little bit better at the moment, or we had better draft picks. But god damn, it's frustrating. But it's not going to make a huge difference this year. Yeah.
Exactly.
What are you going to do? Go somewhere else?
Yeah. What are you going to do, Billy?
They just keep going to FC Cincinnati games where they're second in all of MLS.
My apologies. I just, your owner, like, grates on my soul.
Oh, I know. Imagine living here.
No, thank you. I've been to Ohio.
All the owners grate on our souls.
That's true.
Don't go
You're
all
no good
TikTok
owners.
meme on me.
So, Brian, I think I'm going to put you in the bitch clock seat
All
next, and it's only because you deserve a little bit of punishment for going into first place. Like, it's just
All right, I'm ready.
I didn't know what's going on. Here we go. Wait. I'm sorry. I just got to restart. There we go. And
Bitch clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
Austin Hedges, I'm all for a no-hit catcher, but this guy hasn't hit 200 since 2018. Come on, he makes Keith Osick look like Ted Williams. And enough of the fucking load management. I grew up with Cal Ripken, so we don't need to see Key Brian Hayes getting days off in April. And Nutting, I'm glad you opened up your wallet, but you better keep it open because everyone hates the owner of the Dallas Mavericks until you learn he wants to buy your team and spend all his money.
Stop your bitching.
nice. Very nice job.
That was very good. Hit on a couple of topics there. I liked it.
I know it's not a competition, but the phrase days off in April makes me think that was one of the best pitch clocks.
Well, that is it. I mean, sometimes you need a day off, but they're letting Key Brian Hayes off to what? Rest? Is he hurt? Like, what's going on there?
And isn't he
No,
only
he's
like
just
14
Austin
years
Hedges,
old?
but the guy couldn't hit the ground if he fell out of a tree.
No,
Or a hedge, as the case may be.
There it is.
No, I mean, and the thing is, he's good with the pitching staff, but honest to God, he is awful. And I know he was just brought in to kind of transition. I mean, they've got Andy Rodriguez and Henry Davis in AA and AAA, so I mean, they're fine with catchers going forward. But Hedges is just he's a new level of awful. With like when I watch a guy and think, I think I could hit 133. You know, not a good sign.
Kind of
I'll
feel
tell
that
you,
way
the
about
thing-
Tucker.
Yeah,
Tucker
the-
Barnhart.
Yeah.
Don't you
that
talk
made-
about my man like that.
Yeah, the
Carlson?
thing that made Austin
Exactly.
Hedges possible was the DH, though, because now you can have a terrible,
promised me we
terrible
weren't
hitting
gonna say
person
those
because
two
you don't have
words.
two.
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. I knew Michael was going to work the DH somehow. He's like, well, you know why catchers could be bad.
Hey, you can have look. Everybody knows the fucking DH doesn't make things better. It just allows them to have a.
Oh, really? I've
fucking
never heard
glove
you say
first
that on this show before.
everywhere else.
For news to me.
Hey, Michael, wait until they have 2 DHs so catchers don't have to hit either, because catching is a remarkably trying position. And why would you want your worst hitter on the field anyway?
Exactly, and wait till it's first base and then second base, and then next thing you know, we've got a fucking offense and a defense, and this is a goddamn NFL and AFL, and there's no fucking different leagues, and there's no reason to have this, and we're gonna call it the fucking Super Bowl, and it's not gonna be played in the fucking home team. It's just gonna be played wherever the fuck they want to play it, probably in one special place in Vegas or some shit.
Hold on. Hold on.
I admit I did that on purpose.
Hold on.
But it was great.
Someone put him on the bitch
Bitch
clock.
clock.
You're on the
You
t-
have
you're on the
30
timer.
seconds to
Now I'm
pitch.
done. What the fuck? You can't start this when I'm in the middle of a fucking bitch clock. Like I was already going, and now you're gonna throw me in here, and I gotta fucking figure out something else to bitch about. I don't know.
Imagine how this could have saved Albert Almora's career.
Oh my god! I
Yeah,
love that
right. Albert Elmore could have just been the center fielder.
He's still good. We can bring him back. There's nothing that's gonna.
Is this the
He's not
first
doing
person?
anything.
Is this the first person bitching at the bitch clock?
So meta. This is amazing.
Imagine Cotton running out of things to bitch about.
Well, you know,
You just need to.
This is like
You just need
watching
to have a
yourself-
hot tea.
It's like watching yourself jerk off. We're in that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things. It's really natural with your right hand, and then you go left-handed, and you're like, I don't really know how to do this anymore.
You gotta sit on your hand a little while so it feels like a stranger.
That's why he's a designated jerker. It's
Give the jar of creamy peanut butter a break. Come on.
Come in.
I like the chunky peanut butter.
Okay.
I
Eric,
go
you're-
voice a salute. I pee on my hands.
Ribbed for your pleasure.
you ready?
Oh,
Here
yeah, let's
comes-
do this.
Here comes Eric to the bitch clock.
Clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
All right, Brewers. Here's the thing. We all want to forget about that Josh Hader trade. And then you put Matt Bush into the 8th inning row. And this guy gives up, he has an 8 ERA. He blows every game he's in. Here's the thing I don't like about the guy. You're playing for the Brewers and you're fucking sober, okay? So if you're going to be sober, at least be entertaining, or else you have no right to be in Milwaukee, all right? Maybe get back on the train. But long story short, I don't want to see fucking Matt Bush one more time this year.
Stop your bitching.
Nice. Very nice.
I really didn't think we were going to get an anti-Bush tirade on this.
Yeah, what is this, the early
Something, something
2000s?
steel beams.
yeah, Danny's done a lot of those.
We know Wheelo did a great job. He started with a lot of stats, and he was like, "Oh, you know, you go over 200 percentage over blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Where's he going with this?" And then he was like, "We like when you drink," and I was like, "Hooray, Wheelo's back!"
Well, did you have a did you said Bush? Did he get sober? Was he a drunk and then he got? Is that what happened? And
He was
how do you-
number one overall pick, and he was a batter. He wasn't even a reliever, and he had a lot of drinking problems. He crashed his car a couple times. He was out of the league. He came back in. They turned him into a pitcher, and then he got traded to the Brewers, and now he's just giving up games. Like the fact that we have such a great bullpen, and that guy has given up, I think, 7 runs in 7 innings of work. So even more about how great our bullpen actually is.
But they wrote that song about him. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Yeah. Do we have an advice clock? Because
Beer.
with these Brewers, I want to talk to all of Major League Baseball, everybody in this division. If you play the Brewers, just get all of your lefties ready, because we can't hit lefties at all. At all.
We don't have any. So
Yeah, we don't either.
That's true.
Yeah,
Nick
but
Lodolo.
And this is why the Brewers
Nats
are going to
don't
win
either.
the division, because no one in the goddamn NL Central decided to sign a lefty.
Yeah,
The
guys,
Brewers are just like, doot, doot, doot,
Nats
doot,
either.
doot, doot, doot.
this was the same thing as last year. Look at these splits. 8 home runs against lefties, 25 against righties, 20 RBIs lefties, 107 versus righties, 207 average, 250 versus righties.
The
We
Brewers
cannot
front office
get
in the off
lefties.
season, we always think that they're not doing anything, but what they're really doing is sitting around looking at each other going, are they really not signing lefties?
No, they're not.
Let's just fucking stick. Like, I think we're good.
Wait, the Reds signed Alex Young for the bullpen lefty. Nick Lodolo's a lefty. And Andrew Abbott, who's coming up, also a lefty. So
Can I
we're a
add
little
on
ahead of
that?
the curve.
Can I ask Billy, is Lodolo legit? Because he's lost me a lot of money this year off of his potential.
I was about
So-
to say, Nick Lodolo is not saving
Yeah.
anyone.
He was, and then here's the problem. He's leaving that high and inside fastball about an inch too low. And that's where he's starting to really fumble the bag here. As soon as Hunter Green got his extension, Nick Lodolo forgot how to pitch.
Okay, can we talk about a family that named their child Hunter Green? Shut the fuck up. Like, just somebody needs to slap the shit out of them. Like, you don't fucking name your kid. Like,
That's
they,
how
they
He's an
mean Downey
investment banker.
Cotton or
I mean-
fucking Charmin Cotton. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fucking do that to a kid. I hope he had a horrible childhood.
Well,
Yeah,
my friend
you can't-
Sky Blue disagrees.
Yeah. No, it's white people's blue ivy. It's all we have. Okay.
Oh man, so I can't say that I think the Central is a good division.
Not at all.
Um,
No, this is a shit division. it's god awful. We'll see.
It's better than the
Lie
AL
to us,
Central.
Danny. Lie to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly better than the AL Central. It does. I think that's right.
It could be worse. We could be fans of the White Sox or the Athletics.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh
Right?
god.
Heaven
Yeah.
forbid.
Well, and I really did try to get Dennis to come on this show, but he's busy and he wouldn't want to show his face on this. And I think that we could all agree, fuck the Cardinals, right? I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
we all
Aren't
just
they
agree
fucking
about that.
themselves?
Here
You know
we
what?
are in one accord in one place. Fuck the Cardinals.
Danny,
So-
as a Pirates fan, your team sucking is no excuse for not coming on. I've been coming on for years. 2 years ago, I came on this show with fucking COVID and a sucky team.
Yeah.
So there is
Yeah.
no excuse.
No, they're really.
Yes, and off of Brian, I came on here as a mediocre team and a very confident, cocky Cubs team, and I stuck around. All right, and I fought tooth and nail, talking shit to everybody in the bleachers, everybody that listens to this thing, and you know what? I won their hearts, and that's how you do it. With people.
Nice.
Well done, Eric.
Winning hearts and minds.
Yeah. And Bill says it was probably at the Milwaukee County Fair that you were winning hearts and minds.
Well, here's the thing, Johnny. You asked if the Cardinals were fucking themselves, and the truth is yes, but they don't tell anybody because it goes against their morals.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Cardinals
It's
are
not the
falling
Cardinal
apart.
way, Michael. It's
They're
not
going to fire the
Cardinal way.
manager. They're going to do something crazy, and then they're going to turn around and win like 35 games in a row. Everybody knows
No.
that. So let's just
Yeah.
enjoy this moment. And,
Danny, you're totally right.
yeah. So
Yeah, they're going to call.
They're
They're going to
in a
call.
row and end up fucking 500. They're
Yeah.
that bad right now.
I'm gonna
Well,
say no. They're not going to turn it around. They don't have the starting pitching to do it, man. The offensive that is there, but there is no starting pitching. It's aging. It's Michaelis. They figured him out. It's Wainwright. He's aging. They figured it out, right? I mean,
It's those bad fucking mustaches.
It's
Those
Montgomery
motherfuckers
had
get up there,
one
and they
good
just got this
run.
dumb looking shit. Michaelis thinks he's fucking Burt Reynolds, and the batters are just laughing and like they're in such a good mood. They just can't wait. to
Sorry,
get off
Billy.
them.
Danny, is there any way I can request a segment for at least the number of months that the Cardinals are in last? Like
Okay.
once a month, we all get to come back and talk about how the Cardinals are still in last.
And glow.
And
Great
we'll see
pitch.
how long it goes. Maybe it goes till July. Maybe we're
Yeah.
lucky and we're doing this in September, but we just get to laugh at the Cardinals for a bit.
Love
it feels so good. It really
Bring
does
in
feel
Andy
good.
from Bravo. We'll all shit on him for the Cardinals. How about that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras might come on by September. He'll just be like, I don't know what I was thinking.
So
Right.
so here's my idea for Wilson Contreras. He shows up for the first time at Wrigley Field on Monday, and he's going to get an ovation. Which now you have to give a day notice to the
Right.
league if you're
Yep.
going to have an ovation,
Oh my
and then
God.
it's going to happen. So I think we should just like totally screw up the entire situation. And that
Wait,
is,
Danny, go slower for me. What? Say that again.
you have to give
If
the
they're
league
wait, no,
notice.
I'm being for real. Like
No, it's a pitch clock.
what? You have to tell
to
people if there's going to
You
be
have
an
to
ovation.
tell the league so that the pitch clock will
What?
not start, because then everybody's notified. The umpire knows, like, hey, when Wilson Contreras comes up, no pitch clock until like he's gonna get an ovation. But I think we should screw up the entire thing and not do shit.
Yes,
Act like
you-
he's a guy we
yes.
never heard of.
You
and
need
just
to
sit
Molly
there-
Ringwald from 16 Candles. Forget it's his birthday. That's what you need to
Like he
do.
just hit his first home run.
Tommy is about the fact that MLB has to approve your moments of joy. Like,
Yeah.
'cause
Yes.
I agree. Like, the MLB approval of moments of joy is the worst.
And,
It's so
and I
weird.
do honestly, and this isn't actually against Wilson in any way. I just think it would be fucking hilarious if he was standing there waiting for an ovation and it was like crickets.
That's not gonna
And then hit him.
Peanuts.
Beam him.
Peanuts.
Beam him right in the fucking arm.
It is
Hit that piece of shit.
Put
Put him on his
Then
back.
everybody goes nuts and fucks it all up.
Send crickets through the PA.
Hey, there you go.
Can't spell crickets without rickets.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was waiting
Well,
for it.
Oh, Sarah's pissed. She got
Oh,
mad at
God.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
no.
like, I can't
She's-
deal with this.
She's,
She's
like,
going to burn. She's going to burn down Wrigley. She's fulfilling her prophecy. You know.
She's like, I've had it. Well, we should probably end this part of the conversation there, but we'll be on the Discord afterwards. You guys are all invited to it, and we'll be hanging out a little bit. So if you're a part of the Sun Ranto Ranters, all you got to do is be a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/sunranto. It is $1 a month. That's it. It's $1. And you can be over there, get special Discord privileges, hang out with us. We do all sorts of fun stuff over there, including Cubs Pod. But anyway, that's a daily show that you're missing all the fun, is all I'm saying. You're missing everything. And thank you guys all for coming on. I hope we're all over on Discord later on. Pirates, man. I hope that next month when we do this, and I do want to do this at least once a month,
Yeah.
we get everybody together. I kind of hope the Pirates are still in first place, or I'll be like, what the hell?
Well, tell you, they weren't all fluke wins. I mean, it feels like the attitude over there is changing. Like I said, they're not this good, and they went up against the Rays, and that series probably went out.
Everybody got swept. The Brewers just got swept.
Yeah.
The Pirates just got swept. I think the only ones that didn't just play badly are the Reds, to be honest.
We got
the
swept
only
and
reason
didn't
the
lose any
Cubs didn't
ground,
get
which is
swept
great.
is because we had 4 games.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Yeah.
see one of those videos at a basketball game where they bring the blind kid out and they let him hit his shot? That's how I feel about the Pirates right now. That's like it's heartwarming. You don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. Really, that's what I mean. If they're in first place next time, I'm gonna be like, all right.
But
Okay.
that's cute. That's touching.
Wait,
Well,
so
come on,
there's a
but be
Make-A-Wish
honest.
kid, but they took a whole team of Make-A-Wish adults.
Everyone was thinking that a week ago, or a week into the season. And then there was the Red Sox series and the Dodgers series, and you hit a buzzsaw against the Rays. These things happen, but
So was someone poisoning the Cardinals? Like there has to
I
be
hope so.
the antithesis
Yes,
of that.
his name is. I forget his name. I knew, but I forgot. So let's get out of here, and I just got a few announcements, and also hashtag chance in the chat. We could all just hang out towards the end of the show, right? Hashtag chance in the chat for your chance to win the Frank Chance postcard with a message of love and doom sent to you by me. And so that's all you do. Put hashtag chance in the chat. Announcements. Happy birthday today to Liam Irvin. It's his birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Liam!
happy birthday!
Miguel
See
Esparza.
you dancing. Say hello.
Miguel Esparza. His birthday is Sunday.
Feliz
So happy
cumpleaños.
birthday, Miguel. Same as my pops. He's the one that brought me to my first baseball game. The next show is actually going to be next Friday, which is not going to really be a show. It's going to be a game watch, and we're going to watch the Cubs play. Who the hell are we playing? Oh yeah, the Twins. The Cubs and the Twins on Friday night. It is also my birthday, so it's like, but I'm all busy that weekend, so I'm like, I don't want to go out. Let's just watch the game. So that's what we're doing. So just consider that as something that's happening.
And
7
which
p.m.
birthday will this be, Danny?
My 49th. 49
Oh.
years young. And
Took
then
him 49 years to realize he should stay in on his birthday.
Not a day over 46.
I'll be singing at Sandra's Marchetti's poetry reading on May 27th at aisle 228 launch party at Cafe Tola. And that's at 1625 West Addison on Saturday, May 27 at 2:00. There'll be live music, baseball, poetry, a raffle, empanadas, and coffee.
Nice.
Yeah. That's the
Cafe
surprise.
Tola rules.
Well, it's not a surprise anymore.
No, it's a surprise that they would have empanadas at a poetry reading. It wouldn't be
Cafe
like,
Tola has the best empanadas, man.
Oh, see, that's
Don't the Pirates have empanadas in their pierogi race?
No, that would be racist.
yeah. No, that's what the Brewers do, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not racist like the Brewers and their fucking Italian sausage and their Polish sausage.
Chorizo. Yeah, chorizo, just stereotypical.
Hey, Randall
sausages.
Simon took care of all that. So
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the soy rizo sausage. Just to be politically correct. We're trying to draw everybody into the game now. So
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So to be politically incorrect for 1 second, if you have not seen the John Boy Does the Sausage Race at Milwaukee video, you should go look that up on YouTube as soon as this is done.
Is it the guy pissing in the
in the concourse?
Legend. It's different, but it's good.
That guy was my Uber driver that day. You watch your mouth.
John Boy?
Have
You
you
got a
ever done,
5-stream rating.
Have you ever done Bernie's slide? What do you have to do to get to do Bernie's slide?
You have to break your arm on it.
Yeah, dude. That
broke his arm.
Yeah, the announcer broke his arm on that thing. I forget who it was.
It was the Dodgers
do you
dude. I
do the
can't think of his
slide?
name.
Can we pretend we're reporters and somehow get in and do the slide?
I've got a press pass here.
I have a press pass.
All we need is a fedora with a little fucking card in our hat band.
Well,
wherever we want to go.
My dad used to get free parking at County Stadium. You just go to the guys. He's like, "I'm Robin Yount's brother. I'm the swimmer," and then you just drive in. That's what he would do. Yeah, Robin Yount's brother.
Swimmer? Well, it must be him.
Who would know?
I'm the swimmer.
I knew it was a mistake to let you guys stay on through the announcements.
And there's no more announcements because I think we might have killed the
Well, anyway, I have 11 more thoughts about Danny Rocket's birthday celebration.
All right.
Save it for next Friday. We'll have a "This Is Your Life" segment. Johnny can tell all the embarrassing stories he knows about.
We
me.
should do it. This is your life for Danny's
I know
49.
3.
Yeah.
So, Bleacher Bum Band. I'm gonna be making some more memories on
Back to
June
announcements.
17th. Yeah, June 17th, and this one's important. Blake's Father's Day. The Father's Day contest is going for the tickets. You gotta. That's it. That's the last one. At D Blake Beard. Bring your dad to the game. Yeah.
He gets it for free if he says he's Robin Yount's brother.
Everyone I know on this chat no longer has a father.
That's true.
I know. It really is.
Mine's
really sad.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
He dies of COVID.
So that's the show, except for the chance in the TFC. I just got one. I got one thing to say. That it's when you've lost Jody Davis. I believe you've kind of lost the season. I know it's early to lose Jody, but we lost him because I tweeted out the other day. I said, "Jesus, fucker can't even bunt right." And I said, "Oh my God, we suck again." And Jody Davis liked both tweets, and I was like, "No, we've lost Jody." So,
well, we don't know if that's Jody.
No, it is.
Anybody can buy Jody Davis's name on Twitter now.
No,
so.
that is
That's
Jody
true.
Davis. It has been confirmed. That is the Jody Davis agreeing that fucker can't even butt. And oh God, we suck now. So
yeah.
No, it really
Also-
is. It's him.
No, I
Also,
believe
yeah,
you.
Also, in the clutch.com tomorrow, we're going to have a Matt Mervis shirt. So it'll be pretty dope.
Nice.
Sweet.
I
Well,
was going to say Mervy the Pervy. I think that's the tagline we went with.
nice. He's gonna love that one.
Yeah.
No, so we got 3-game win streak, baby. And the Cardinals over here crying, and the White Sox happy for some reason. I don't know. I just wanted to
They're
post
both
something that
crying.
showed
Everybody's crying.
that- I just wanted to post a shit on the Cardinals and the White Sox in the same thing.
It is nice when you can shit on them twice in one meme. It's it's really handy. All right, let's do some chants, shall we? Get the hell out of here and over on the Discord. All right, hashtag chants in the chat. This is your last chance to win the chance. So here we go. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Some new names in there today. And the winner is Corey Furlong. Congratulations.
Corey!
Hey, Corey. You
Well
won that.
done. So much effort in that.
Just when we thought we'd go metric, it's a furlong.
Oh, what a
Hey,
beautiful joke.
it's the Kentucky Derby this weekend. We're going.
It
Yeah, we're going
certainly is.
Furlong this weekend.
But half the horses are dead. How are they gonna?
Oh, come on
yeah,
now.
all the horses are dying. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm actually
Guys,
having a
it's-
party at the house. We're doing the Kentucky Pinewood Derby, and we're all carving cars and racing them.
In a little
That's really
Chicago
funny.
fact, the favorite in this year's race is named Forte. So any Matt Forte fans out there, cheer for Forte. He's the projected winner. Pink Friday tomorrow. Wear your pinks, everybody.
What's
It's for
Pink
breast
Friday?
cancer. It's where everybody wears pink at the Kentucky Derby for breast cancer awareness. So for all
But
the
the
Derby
Kentucky
fans.
Derby's on Saturday.
But they do it on Friday because they don't want everybody to look weird.
I thought they did
themselves.
that in October for the NFL. I thought we didn't have to celebrate breast cancer.
I thought
until
the Kentucky
October.
Derby was just about drinking whiskey out of copper cups.
Hey guys,
Exactly.
everyone! On Tuesday, we're all gonna wear pink for Christmas breast cancer awareness. It's in the middle of like, what the fuck?
We're only allowed to acknowledge breast cancer once or twice a year.
Yeah. And Michael, you just said celebrate breast cancer. I'm like, we're not celebrating it. You're against it.
Sorry, I get confused whenever I talk about breasts.
At this point, aren't we just all aware? I think we're aware, right?
Yeah, but we still
You're-
have.
I don't think you're aware until you do a walk or a run for it. Then you're aware,
But
right?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not until I'm sweaty and chafing. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, we gotta fix this.
You're not aware until at least the fifth kilometer. And I'm sorry, I took it metric again.
You
I'm really
should've-
sorry.
How many furlongs is that?
This furlong was
17.
right there for you.
A furlong is an eighth of a mile.
That didn't help.
I like that.
Right, but how many kilometers is it?
I didn't like it for long.
There would be 24.85 furlongs in a 5K.
Somebody went to private school. There we go. All right.
Literally, none of this is helping me conceptualize a furlong.
Big shout out to Millipede
It is.
James.
Let me think. Hold on.
Subway's doing a $5 furlong special for now. So.
It's a little less than half a football field.
It's a little less than half a football field.
That's way bigger than a Subway sandwich.
Not in Milwaukee.
Not in Milwaukee.
About 45 yards. So
That's my kind of sandwich.
Yeah.
You can just
Same
order
here.
one of those at the ballpark for the entire row.
I'm pretty sure
great.
Crawley would tell you that his new basement's a furlong. So
You got Billy on that one. And me.
Furlong full of bobbleheads. So, but that was a wonderful show, and I appreciate everybody coming on. I had a great time.
Whom are you saying this?
It's out of control.
He's trying to make himself feel better. Come on, he's getting old.
I'm trying to go. I'm trying to. I want make it stop.
Yeah, he's trying to
Get
land
out of
this
my
one.
house, you guys.
49 furlongs.
Trying to land this plane, but it's actually more like crashing this Greyhound.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to go on furlough after this podcast.
Well, that's all I have to say about that.
It's getting worse and funnier at the same time.
But I'll say it first.
That's a good
The
question.
dog.
How many beer bats are a furlong?
Not
I
enough.
took that from David
It
Elliott.
doesn't
said
matter.
in
You're
the
still
chat.
only going to
Thank
get
you,
one
David.
beer out of it.
There you
All right, I'm going to play the song. Goodbye, cruel world. Goodbye.
There is no fighting in the majors. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the majors. So take that shit outside. There is no fighting in the majors. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the majors. So take that shit outside. You can get a suntan drink until you're drunk and rooted for the coach and acting like a punk and watch 'em hit and running, having lots of fun and show 'em all your love and celebrate and suffering. But you cannot fight, don't care who you don't like. Let's all have fun tonight. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. You can catch a ball and scream about a goal and be right on the wall and be into a drop, and you can buy a dog and sing a couple songs, but just keep on a walking if you're in a rolling. No, you cannot fight, don't care who you don't like. Let's all have fun tonight. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. No fighting in the bleachers.